Welcome into the Analyst in the Armchair, an NFL podcast where one host is obsessed with stats and spreadsheets, and the other just really loves yelling at the TV on game day and has plenty of opinions. Together, Michelle and Nycole dive into player news, weekly matchups, and all the storylines you'll be talking about with your friends. Whether you're a hardcore or casual football fan, they've got something for you.
Welcome into the Analyst and the Armchair. I'm Michelle. I'm the Analyst part of the show. This is Nycole. She is the Armchair. And we have so much to get through this week. This is the one issue with only doing one show a week, right? There's so much to fit in one show. And then with free agency coming up on Monday, and with all the news that's been coming out with Kyler Murray and Daniel Jones and everyone else, there's just a lot to get to.
Yeah, a lot going on. I could have never guessed.
I know so many people that I talk to out in the world. They're like, what do you do when there's no NFL? Because I work for NFL Network. And I'm like, oh, NFL never stops. There's like a 6-week period in June through like the middle of July. That's the only break in the NFL. I feel like.
I know. And you get so frustrated with me because I'm like, well, I have a day job. I don't know. This is your whole life. This is my hobby. I don't know.
Well, we're gonna just hop right into it because we have so much to get to. We're gonna start with Kyler Murray. He gets released by the Cardinals, or will be released next week. What would be his best landing spot? And we'll get to all the top free agents and where we think they should land right now.
The opening drive.
So our episode,
excuse me,
2 weeks ago, right? We did teams that we thought were going to make the biggest comebacks from 2025.
Yeah.
One of my teams being the Cardinals.
You really fumbled that one, didn't you? No pun intended.
I did say a big piece of that was that they talk to Kyler Murray and they keep him.
True.
Now it looks like it's going to be, I don't know, Jacoby Brissett or Jimmy Garoppolo as the Cardinals starting quarterback because they're moving on from Kyler Murray.
Yeah, which, for that amount of money, and we talked about it a little bit then, right? Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why is there something better for you to go and spend $50 million or whatever it is and some change for a guy you're not even going to have on your team?
And there's not better options. Like, Kyler Murray is now going to be the best option on the market.
Right.
It's not like the draft is really thin. I don't think they're going to trade up to number 1. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're really high in Ty Simpson, who's supposed to go maybe in the first round.
Well, and at least what you're getting with him, while albeit just some kind of consistency, right? To go for a rookie quarterback. We saw how that worked out with some of the teams this year. You just don't know. And so that amount of money, I don't think that was the right call at all.
They must have been so over it. And now we did hear all the reports that, the franchise, no one in the franchise and Kyler have talked since the end of the season, whatever. But
that's on them too, right?
I know.
So
they clearly were over it. And I think right now, so this is what's super interesting about Kyler Murray's contract, that he's going to get paid this season all by the Arizona Cardinals. He's not going to make any more, no matter what he signs with the team. So his best interest is to take the vet minimum. I'm just ballparking here, 1.5 million. I don't know what it is exactly. Right. I probably should have looked it up. But so it's going to be super, super cheap for whatever team signs him. And I think in that case, anyone talking about Kyler going to the Jets or the Browns or even probably Miami,
the Raiders.
Yeah. I don't see him going to a bad organization when money can't buy him, right?
Right.
It's not like these teams can bribe him to come with money because there's no point.
Right. So do you go somewhere like Atlanta, who towards the end of the season was kind of getting their stuff together, right? And they pay him, this minimum and see what he can do for you for a year and then figure out your path forward.
Yeah, with Michael Penix Jr., a little bit of promise there. For the most part, he's looked pretty bad in starts, not great. He's coming off a torn ACL. I think Atlanta makes a lot of sense. I think the Vikings would be an amazing opportunity for Kyler. That should be what he's wishing for. And for the Vikings, honestly, this is like a free get out of jail free card for them. You messed up on JJ McCarthy. You don't have to trade for a quarterback. You don't really have to pay one.
And your defense was looking solid towards
So
the end of the
good.
year. You
Yeah.
have Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got similar to the Falcons, honestly, with Bijan Robinson and some others, right? Kyle Pitts, some of these folks, like you've already got a pretty good core. Can you go out, grab a quarterback who, again, you know what you're getting and see what he can do for the year and then make your choices next year?
Please get Justin Jefferson a real quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's a lot of rumors around Anthony Richardson maybe going to the Vikings, but how does that help your situation? You're just going from one really, really like iffy guy in JJ McCarthy to another really, really iffy guy in Anthony Richardson.
Anybody looking at Anthony Richardson is a silly, silly fool.
Well, the Browns are expected to be serious contenders
And of course they are.
to
Of
trade for
course
him.
they are. What are they doing? What is the water like in Cleveland? Tell me. Because you
I don't
live
remember
there.
it tasting bad, but maybe it made
and
me crazy.
I don't know what is happening up
I
there.
did really like to root for the Browns when I lived there. Maybe they do put something in their water where they make their fans like not care.
It's
you know?
like some kind of Twilight Zone-y
Yeah.
situation. I don't know, but anybody looking at Anthony Richardson it's embarrassing.
I don't necessarily think that they want to give him a shot, but it cannot be a terrible team.
Listen, I will literally bring you back to like one of our first episodes, maybe our second one,
Yeah.
where you're like, are the Colts crazy for calling Daniel Jones their starter? And I'm like, no. I mean, their choice was Anthony Richardson. Like, good riddance, my friend, So I'm just going to, I'm going to ride that train till the cows come home.
See, if I'm the Cardinals, I'm calling up and seeing what Anthony Richardson costs. Or like, but not the Browns. The Browns, the Jets, Anthony Richardson would be absolutely terrible on those teams because those teams are absolutely terrible. I don't think the Vikings would be necessarily a bad landing spot for him. I mean, if he's going to succeed in the NFL, that would give him a good chance to. But for the Vikings, I don't get why you want another project when you already have a project.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. So I don't get the Browns, you're not fixing Anthony Richardson. Like you're not
You
going
don't
to
have, you have so little going on in Cleveland. You don't have time to figure out someone like Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. And no, just no. No, thank you. Now, Daniel Jones gets a transition tag by the Colts. So that means he's able to go talk to teams during free agency, go get a contract if he wants, but the Colts are able to match whatever contract he is given. So if they want to keep him and some team comes out and they're like, Daniel Jones will give you $40 million a year, the Colts can either say, all right, we'll match that. Daniel Jones, you're ours, or let him walk.
Which I think is honestly the best option for both parties in this situation. He went out, week 14 with the Achilles, right? He was playing very, very well. I don't think anybody could have imagined that the Colts would have been who they were the majority of the season, right? So honestly, I think this is the best case scenario for both. Go shop him around. I mean, honestly, it gives him the leverage, right? If somebody wants to pay for him, the Colts have to really decide, do we think he's worth that? But I mean, I kind of like this, honestly.
I like it for the Colts, kind of. The only issue is it's going to eat up a lot of the cap space to start the free agency period until they can sign Daniel Jones to that longer contract. So it keeps them from bringing in any big names or like stuff like that, or making too many signings in free agency, which that means they probably will lose out on Alec Pierce,
right?
Which is a pretty big deal.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
But you'd rather have a franchise quarterback than a good wide receiver.
But that's the issue. I don't think Daniel Jones is a franchise quarterback. And I also don't think, for Daniel Jones, I think it's unfortunate, but with the Achilles tear, I don't think teams are going to be calling him very much and offering these big contracts. Like,
I don't know, if you're the Jets, would you call Daniel Jones?
No. These teams that are bad, do not go get a Daniel Jones or an Anthony Richardson.
Cardinals.
It's not going to fix them. That's like the Jets going to get Justin Fields last year. And I think Justin Fields is better than Daniel Jones overall. And obviously not this past year, but I just mean in their skill sets. And like just going to get these already quarterbacks who showed they cannot change a bad franchise. Right?
Okay. So if you're Daniel Jones, who do you want to call you?
The Colts is the only option, I think, for him. I think the Colts is the only option. So I think that's why they put the transition tag on him, because they're like, go out. Whatever you're asking for, it's too high. I think they could not agree. And they're saying this is way too high. You go out and see what you can get. We'll match whatever you get, sir. And it's going to be low. And it's not going to be what Daniel Jones was asking for.
Huh. Because I feel differently. I feel that it might not be what he would have gotten had, let's say he didn't get hurt and they just kind of, crapped out at the end of the season, right? Yeah. Obviously, I think he would be shopped for more. But I think there are a few spots he could definitely get some looks. And again, maybe not the top price point, but it's at least options.
Yeah. I think, I just don't see him getting very many offers and very much money. Now, maybe he can get like the $25 million range a year.
Right.
Justin Fields last year got a 2-year, $40 million deal. Mm-hmm. That could be the case here, a little bit more than that because he showed more. But that Achilles tear is a big deal because a lot of what Daniel Jones offers is his mobility and how good he is, honestly, as a rushing quarterback. And if you take that away a little, he's coming right off the Achilles. Like, you're going to be taking that mostly away this year. I wouldn't be paying him anything.
Yeah, but I feel like last year you were like down on Daniel Jones, and then he played this great year. And yes, he had the Achilles, but
he was already starting to come down though before the Achilles. Okay. He started good on some bad defenses.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that.
I just don't think Daniel Jones is it. He's fine. Like, he should get another starting job and get a try. I mean,
would you rather have Daniel Jones or Aaron Rodgers right now?
For 1 year or what?
1 year, sure.
1 year, Aaron Rodgers, I guess.
Okay. Okay. I can't wait to make fun of you for that for so long.
Daniel Jones is never going to do anything. Okay.
Can't wait. Yeah.
All right.
Well, with that, Michelle, we're going to transition to our Between the 20s, where we will talk about some of the top free agents.
Between the 20s.
A lot of good running backs in free agency. I mean, Breece Hall came off. We're no longer a free agent because he got tagged by the Jets because they don't know how to run an organization. But Kenneth Walker got Travis Etienne, Rico Dowdle, Kenneth Gainwell, like a lot of good guys out there. J.K. Dobbins, if he can stay healthy for 5 seconds. Yeah. Najee Harris, when he comes back from all of his injuries. Oh, yeah. I was thinking the eye, but he already came back from the eye. And now did he also tear his Achilles?
I wouldn't put money on it, but yes.
I think he did tear his Achilles. Man, a lot of Achilles tears last year. Very unfortunate. But let's talk about the two top guys here, Kenneth Walker and Travis Etienne. If you're a team, a GM, let's just say you're the GM of the Texans and say they didn't trade for David Montgomery, which we should have probably talked about in the top news, but whatever.
All good.
All good. Would you rather have Kenneth Walker or Travis Etienne as your starting running back?
Okay. And if you look at these guys' numbers and stats and all the things, they're relatively similar. Okay. But I don't understand why Etienne is not a bigger deal in this league. I would take Etienne every day of the week. Okay. He has he carried the most load in Jacksonville. Whereas Kenneth Walker is the red zone guy. He's the go and get the touchdown guy, right? And that worked for him in Seattle. Now, yes, in the playoffs, we saw him do more when Charbonnet got hurt. But I want, and you're going to hear this throughout, I want consistency. I want to know what I'm getting for the money I'm paying for the guy that I chose. Okay. And so I'm going Etienne all day. I think the guy is better than people give him credit. And I would go with Travis Etienne.
I think that's fine because it's crazy, right? Kenneth Walker, I think is probably going to be overpaid this offseason because he just won Super Bowl MVP.
Right.
That's like the best thing that can ever happen to someone right before you hit free agency.
He's having a great time right now because of the timing of everything happening.
Yeah, like he had a few monster games, absolutely. And I think he is a really good talent. But one thing about him is that he can knock out a 60-yard run. He can also lose 5 yards on any given play. He dances a lot. Now, Etienne is a similar. He can also, knock out a 60-yard run and lose some yards. And he has some fumbling issues. But I will say this year, Kenneth Walker had a career year with 1,309 scrimmage yards. Etienne, in 3 of his 4 seasons played, has had more than that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's so consistently
More
good.
than that, just this year, 1,399 for 1,441 yards in his first year in the league, or first year playing, because he missed his first year in the league. 1,484 yards in his second year playing in the league with 12 touchdowns, by the way. Walker has never hit 10 touchdowns in a season in his career. And Etienne has now done it twice, 12 touchdowns in 2023, 13 touchdowns in 2025.
Well, and I think that's what people don't give him credit for is that, like, yeah, he was on the Jags. And for the last so many years, they were meh with relevancy, right? This year, of course, they played really well. They started becoming relevant. So now you're like, oh, ETN. But listen, I mean, he is the guy if you're looking for a solid running back in fantasy football, right? So because of those numbers, because of the consistency.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm a GM of somebody like the Texans, I'm going after that because you know what you're getting and you know you can bank on at least 1,000 yards from this guy.
Yeah, I mean, you can bank on at least 1,400 because it's been right there for 3 of the 4 years he's played.
Being a little conservative.
Yeah. I really like Etienne. He had that really down year in 2024. Disaster of year for the Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, you could see it on the whole team. They all gave up. Etienne definitely gave up. It was a bad year. But where should he sign? Where do you think would be the best fit for him? A lot of rumors about the Chiefs.
Yeah, and I hate it because I love when the Chiefs are terrible and I love to hate on the Chiefs, but I really do think that would be a great spot for him to land. I think with him in the backfield with Mahomes, I just think it would make a lot of sense. It would make defenses scared, honestly.
I actually just think, like, what are the Jaguars going to do if they let him leave? Like, I think his best plan is to stay with the Jaguars.
Sure.
Like, he was great for them last year. And yeah, Bashal Tutin will cut into some work and maybe steal some touchdowns. But like, what are the Jaguars going to do?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why you would let a guy like this go, but clearly they're willing to because they haven't given him a contract before this.
Yeah. Now, Kenneth Walker, on the other hand, I think there are more landing spots that make sense for him. Mm-hmm. The Seahawks just staying there because Zach Charbonnet is coming off a torn ACL. I am pretty surprised that Kenneth Walker wasn't franchise tagged.
Yeah.
To, the Seahawks making sure they were at least able to keep him or trade him or whatever. But I think the Vikings, because the reports are saying that Aaron Jones will be cut or traded before the new year. Vikings could be really good for Kenneth Walker. Yeah. Split with Jordan Mason.
Yeah. I mean, that would be cool. Yeah. I think, again, he's not used to carrying the load. Sure, he did it the last, 3 games-ish of the season. But I think him splitting time with somebody that's notable like that makes a lot of sense for his next move.
Yeah, and him splitting time this year actually did keep him fresh. I mean, his whole career, he's had a lot of trouble staying healthy. Mm-hmm. Kenneth Walker has. So I think going to a place where he gets a little bit of backup help that a guy can come in would be big. So Jordan Mason, I think Vikings would be great. Broncos, I mean, they only have RJ Harvey right now.
Yeah.
And RJ Harvey's not it.
No, he's
not. The main guy.
Yeah.
So I would like that. Maybe the Saints, if they think they can really win this division with Tyler Shook there. But Saints, as always, have very little money to work with in free agency because they always do. They're negative like $40 million in cap space right now.
I don't even understand the math of that.
They'll figure it out and get above. I know Saints fans get so mad. They're like, they always figure it out. They do, but they can't sign good guys. That's why they've been mediocre for so long and then bad for so long because of their money situation. And the fans get so mad when you bring that up. It's like, it's just the truth. Well, but anyways,
I don't have anything else.
I'm really excited about Kenneth Walker and Travis Etienne and seeing where they land because we love fantasy football and that will be huge for fantasy football. But also the Commanders really need a new running back.
Yes.
There's a lot of teams out there that could use a really good starting running back. And I think both of those guys would upgrade many, many backfields. Now, the wide receiver free agency class is really bad. I'll say that. I mean, once George Pickens got franchise tagged by the Cowboys, not much else left out there. I mean, you got Mike Evans, the biggest name out there. You got Alec Pierce, Juwan Jennings, Wan'Dale Robinson, Rashid Shaheed. But a lot of these guys you want to be your wide receiver 2 or 3, not your wide receiver 1. The one guy who could be a wide receiver 1 that's available, like I mentioned, is Mike Evans. The thing is, we've seen some slowdown from him. I mean, every year until 2025, it was at least 1,000-yard season. But 2024, I mean, it took to that very last snap of the game to hit that 1,000 yards. And he's had some injury issues the last couple of years. He will be 32 years old in August. Does he still have it in him to be a top 15, 20 wide receiver in this league where he's worth wide receiver 1 money?
I don't think so. Just because there's too many question marks for me. As you said, he was kind of starting to fall off. Now his bar is high, don't get me wrong, but I'd like to see him with a team that already has a notable wide receiver instead of in Tampa Bay where he was the guy and he was the guy. And so you have to rely on him being as productive as he has in years past. So I honestly think him going somewhere, and this is going to sound crazy, but him going somewhere like the Titans, I know, and I know you hate it because you love Mike Evans. Is he up here? No, he's right here. Like, I know you love him, but I just I think him going to a team that may or may not be good makes more sense than somebody like the Bucks who really need to figure out what they're doing and get some folks that they know they can rely on.
See, no, I think if I'm the Buccaneers, I'm doing everything to get Mike Evans back in the door because we saw Baker Mayfield with and without Mike Evans. And when he had Mike Evans on third down, it was such a big difference. I think Mike Evans still has plenty left in him, a year or two, right? But he has at least another year of really good production. But if the Buccaneers don't re-sign him, or let's say Mike Evans just wants a new place, he hasn't played anywhere else. If he wants to go somewhere else,
right?
The Bills, I think, would be amazing with Josh Allen. Get him right now. Khalil Shakir is the only wide receiver that had more than 450 receiving yards for the Bills last year. So stupid, but he's a slot tiny guy. Get Josh Allen, that true big guy that's actually good, not Keon Coleman, and that can come down with those tough catches on third down for Josh Allen and come down for all of those touchdowns because Mike Evans can be a touchdown machine.
Yeah,
I would love to see Mike Evans with Josh Allen.
That should have been your 2-minute warning pick right there.
Yeah,
that should have been your trade you want to see. But that's a great pick.
Yeah,
that's a great pick.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I think you're right in that the Bills have to figure out some options for Josh Allen. It cannot clearly, and unfortunately for you because you love him, it can't be the Josh Allen show.
Yeah,
because that's not going to get it done. So you're not wrong. Give him a guy that. Oh my God.
Anyone watching on YouTube, I have the Josh Allen and Mike Evans together.
You can put them up there together. Don't break my shelf here. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really fun pick. And trade that would be really interesting, I think, for the Bills next year.
Yeah, I love it. And they just have to sign him. They don't even have to trade him, which is nice. And then I also think, what was I going to say? Oh, the Giants could be an opportunity because Malik Neighbors with Mike Evans and Jackson Dart, kind of love it.
Yeah,
kind of love it. All right, the other wide receivers, like I brought up, it's not these exciting guys. But again, if you were a GM of a team and you had to choose between these middling tier guys like an Alec Pierce or Juwan Jennings or Wan'Dale Robinson, I mean, these guys are going to be asking for $20 million plus a year.
Yeah.
And it's not an outrageous contract for wide receivers anymore, $20 million plus a year, but they're going to be asking for it, and teams are going to give it because there's not a lot of options out there.
Yeah.
Which one would you be willing to give that contract to?
Well, I think there's two here that I could see potentially getting close to that. And there's one here that I'm absolutely not.
Okay.
So I think Alec Pierce, in, again, the consistency and the amount of yards he gets per catch is over 20.
I know, it's insane.
And so I think he is locked in on, if you're a team that needs a guy for the deep ball, I mean,
the Patriots. It's the easiest fit I've ever found.
Yes, this is the guy. I think Wan'Dale, I mean, he produced heavy for the Giants last year with rookie quarterback, right? So I think those two guys have a good chance to make close to this number. Now, the guy that you'll probably agree, I assume, is Juwan Jennings. And while I think, yes, he was consistent and the highest wide receiver for the 49ers last year, there was no one else to throw the ball. I mean, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And the man can't get a yard to save his life after he does catch it. And so
I love hearing someone else talk about it.
it's true. And so I think for him, it was like a context situation of like, oh, pay me. I just had this really great year, but it wasn't really that great.
No.
And you were the only wide receiver on the team.
Yeah.
Most of the time, because he gets injured every other play, it feels like, too.
Yeah.
So
he does play through injuries, but yeah.
Yes, but still, I mean, I don't need a guy that every other play I'm worried because he's limping off the field, and then 4 seconds later he's like, no, I'm good. Like,
yeah.
I don't want that. It's inconsistent. I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm going Alec Pierce for sure. You're gonna love this pick, maybe, maybe not. I think Alec Pierce to the Steelers would be really, really interesting.
Okay. And
You don't
Aaron
like-
Rodgers throwing him the ball?
I don't want to talk or look at Aaron Rodgers ever again. So I sure hope not. But I do think the Steelers, they need somebody other than DK.
Yes, they do. I think they probably have to go through the draft because I'm not loving any of these guys available for the Steelers. Now, Alec Pierce, I think there's a lot of teams that should be interested. The Patriots would be a dream fit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want the Patriots to go get him because I think it'd be too good. Drake May is a fantastic deep ball thrower. Pierce with him, I think, would be beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I also think the 49ers with Pierce. Like, I think the 49ers would make more sense. They're looking to add speed on their offense. That could be it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know if Pierce, I mean, I'll take him, but
you'll take him.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm trying
I
to-
don't want that to happen at all because you were so negative about it.
I'm trying to think of a good place for Wan'Dale Robinson because he was able to get so many targets the last couple of years with the Giants because he was necessary, right?
So
Mhm.
the Saints
Yeah,
playing across from Chris Olave.
I do like that. They need more weapons if they actually believe in Tyler Shook.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that could be a choice. And then Juwan Jennings, I put the Chargers here. I don't care where Juwan Jennings ends
I
up.
don't care where Juwan Jennings
And
ends up at all.
That's how I feel
That
about
better not be the Bills signing. That's all I have to say.
Oh, God.
Don't give Josh Allen just Juwan Jennings. And
You're
that
like-
better not be the
You're
Steelers
like, I
signing.
just
either.
got him out of San Francisco. Now I have to deal with him in
He
Buffalo.
better not be with the Steelers either. I mean, Juwan Jennings is just the most standard definition. If you looked up just a guy, it would be Juwan Jennings' face.
Listen, if you need somebody to catch the ball 3 yards out, great. Sign the man. But that is not what I'm paying somebody millions of dollars to do.
Yeah.
Hell, sometimes I think I could go out there, run for 4 seconds, and turn around and go like this and probably
He's-
catch sometimes.
In the best system with Kyle Shanahan and being the guy this year, he was able to put up 643 yards.
Not good. Not going to get it done.
No, so I don't really care where Juwan Jennings goes, but Pierce and Robinson will be interesting to watch. Now, moving to tight ends, we got some interesting tight ends. Now, Kyle Pitts was franchise tagged with the Falcons, so take him off the board unless he gets traded. But you got Dallas Goedert available, David Njoku, Isaiah Likely. Again, if you're a GM, what you going for? You going for the young guy and Isaiah Likely? Are you going for the middle-aged guy in David Njoku, who has been up and down? You say you like your consistency. David Njoku is certainly not consistent. The consistent guy would be Dallas Goedert for the most part, but the other guy. So who are you going with?
And this one is going to go off my radar a little bit, off of my trajectory that I've had. But if I'm the Commanders, I'm getting David Njoku. Because you have to think, sure, he's been inconsistent, but he played for the Browns. Anybody's going to be inconsistent being on that offense, right?
Mhm.
So to me, you go for a guy who the last 2 years, sketchy, I mean, honestly, their entire franchise, but sketchy quarterback situation. Okay. I think he has enough upside and he's young enough that I like this choice. Now, don't go out and pay your entire salary on this guy, but I do like it. Dallas Goedert's getting older. His production's been decreasing. Isaiah Likely has, yes, been consistent and is the youngest of the group, but I don't think he's anything to write home about.
Mhm.
I just really don't.
Oh, I really like Isaiah Likely.
See, and I think he had a few good games where people are like, wow, this guy behind Mark Andrews in Baltimore.
Mhm.
But I mean, unless he just has his breakout year and he's like, I'm the guy, right? I like the idea of Njoku and having Jaden Daniels the one throwing him the ball.
I don't. I think the Commanders are definitely a team that needs to look at adding one of these tight ends for sure.
Mhm.
And I would not mind David Njoku there at all. But I will say for Isaiah Likely, I think he is a really good get. And I don't think he's going to be too insanely expensive. Because tight ends just aren't. And he hasn't got to prove himself. I think the Chiefs should go after him. I mean, even if Kelsey comes back for one more year or whatever, you can have both out on that field. But get this really athletic guy who can be your next tight end to fill in for Kelsey. I think that could be a very interesting fit.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriots could add a tight end, one of these tight ends to go. I mean, they have Hunter Henry, but they could definitely upgrade. The Bengals, I mean, they really need to be spending all their money on defense.
Have to.
Yeah. So probably not there, but they could use a tight end.
Yeah.
So lots of good options out there. I don't know where Dallas Goedert fits in.
I don't know.
He just is an Eagle.
Him to me was like a question mark because I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's one really hard one there because it's like, okay, well, the Eagles need a tight end. Could David Njoku or Isaiah Likely go there? But it does sound like Goddard's not going to be back with the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, they could really use him.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what's going on in Philadelphia right now.
Yeah. Dallas Goedert with the Vikings could be interesting, but the Vikings don't have a lot of cap space
Man, you
either.
are on the Vikings.
Yeah,
you're like, I'm so excited for next year for us to do like rankings and stuff because you're going to be like, you're setting it up that
if
you're
Kyler
like
Murray goes to the Vikings,
yeah.
If Kyler Murray goes to the Vikings, I'm going to be real excited. I don't even normally like the Vikings.
I know you don't. That's why it's funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm on them, but I can't really find many spots here for Dallas Goedert. So maybe that's a Titans destination to help out Cam Ward, have a veteran. I mean, I feel like the Titans are going to have the issue that the Patriots had 2 years ago. And that was that no one, even this last off season too, they could only get Stephon Diggs. Like wide receivers and receivers in general, tight ends, they did not want to go there because they were like, we don't know about this passing game situation. We don't know about the coaches and all that, right?
Right.
I think the Titans need to prove, like the Patriots did this past year, that they're a good team to come to.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be able to entice many good veterans to come.
That's a fair point.
But, I mean, Dallas Goedert might not have a lot of options.
Also true.
Yeah. Man, the Seahawks, if they wanted to like get a real veteran tight end, they have a lot of money. Dallas Goedert to go with their young AJ Barner, Elijah Arroyo. Yeah. Could be interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move to the only offensive lineman I really care about in this free agency. I mean, there's actually a lot of good interior offensive linemen. So if you're a team that needs interior offensive linemen, a lot of good guys in this free agency class is pretty deep. Now, if you need tackles, not so much. Rashad Walker is a top guy, and really it's just because he started a lot of games for the Packers and he wasn't terrible. But there's a reason the Packers are like, we'll just let you go because he's going to get overpaid. That's just very simple. But talking about the interior offensive line, Tyler Linderbaum leads this offensive line class in free agency, Ravens center for the last 4 years. And I mean, he's maybe the best center in the league, only 26 years old. He's going to get paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
But if you're a team, you have to question, do we want to pay a center a lot of money?
Right.
Which I think certain teams should. If you're a team on the brink of a really good, playoff run, then I would be like, okay. And if you're struggling at center, that's where you upgrade. If you're a bad team like the Jets or the Browns, I'm going to keep bringing them up. Don't overpay for a center.
Right.
My favorite landing spot easily would be the Chargers. They need interior offensive line, no other. They're going to get their 2 tackles back, which are missing for the majority of last year. Huge. Their center, Bradley Bozeman, retired. So they really need interior offensive line just in general. So go pay up for Tyler Linderbaum because they are a team that is good enough that they are just missing some pieces, and adding a great center like that could be huge.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would just beef up the O-line and give Herbert a chance to stay in the pocket and throw the ball.
Yeah, they need to protect Justin Herbert, please.
Right.
But yeah, that's all I have to say about Tyler Linderbaum and offensive line. Let's move on to more fun positions here. Edge rushers at the top of that is Trey Hendrickson, which I've missed him. We didn't get to see him much of 2025 because he was all mad at the Bengals and injured, I say with quotes. I don't know who he is. I mean, he's 31 years old, so he's getting a little bit scary territory of like paying someone too much money.
Sure.
But I still think he's worth it. I know his stats in 2025 when he did play weren't great, but I just don't think he was motivated to play.
Of course not.
His last couple seasons, he was fully healthy and played 17 and a half sacks in 2024, 17 and a half sacks in 2023. He led the league in sacks over those 2 seasons. In 2022, he had 8 sacks. In 2021, 14 sacks. In 2020, 13 and a half sacks. Dude is a sack monster.
Yeah, totally. I think for him, a couple notable teams, which funny enough are in the same division. I'm going Cowboys. I'm going Commanders. I think the Commanders desperately need edge rushers. I mean, all defense, as much defense as they can get. And I think the Cowboys. I think losing Micah Parsons is interesting, given that Trey Hendrickson is on the board.
So this is my, can I go on a little rant about edge rushers real quick?
Ooh, go ahead.
This is my thing about edge rushers. I think they're highly overrated in terms of the top guys getting paid as much as they're getting paid.
Okay.
I mean, some of these guys are getting paid quarterback money. I mean, they're getting paid $40 million a year. And I'm sure that's what Hendrickson is going to ask for, because you have TJ Watt making that. You have Myles Garrett asking for that. And Hendrickson's numbers have been fantastic, right? He's going to ask for it or get pretty close to it. These guys are not changing anything in the win-loss column. You can say, okay, the Steelers maybe a little bit, but not once you get to the playoffs. I mean, they get absolutely destroyed no matter what. And Myles Garrett, he's not changing anything with the Browns. And Max Crosby, another great. He's not changing anything with that Raiders. Micah Parsons, when he was with the Cowboys, they were still one of the worst defenses in the league in 2024 when he was with them. Like, having one elite edge rusher doesn't change anything at all. You need depth along the defensive line. And that's what wins. Think about the Seahawks this year. They have depth. It wasn't one guy. It's so many guys, not one elite guy. The year before, the Eagles, depth among the defensive line. They didn't just have one elite guy. You can't have one elite guy and then a bunch of nobodies.
I agree with you. I think it comes down to, though, can these guys change games? And I think what's interesting about everyone you just named, not only do they not have anybody else opposite of them to disrupt, right? But their offenses weren't very good either.
Yeah.
And so
they can't pay for offense because they're paying their edge rusher quarterback money.
Right. So I agree with you. I think when you do it, though, in a way that, like, you can pay them good money if everything else is even, so to speak, on the field. And I think when you look at teams like the Seahawks, Houston, even the Bears defense, the Broncos defense, right? You've got these elite players, but they're surrounded by other folks who are good at what they do. And so I agree with you. I just think out of all of those, the only one that even had a remotely okay offense was the Steelers. And we know how that goes.
Yeah.
And TJ Watt was like meh this year.
Yeah, I didn't want the Steelers to pay him. They paid him all this money. He's aging and he didn't. It's not worth it.
He didn't disrupt anything.
Yeah.
You know, whereas when you've got guys like Will Anderson Jr. coming at you, like, you're going to think twice. And that's the difference, is it kept Houston in games that without him, and some, obviously not just him, but some other guys on defense, like, it disrupts the other team so that your team can stay in the game. And even CJ Stroud and offense said, well, our defense is so great and these edge rushers and stuff that, like, we know we can kind of ride their coattails, so to speak.
Yeah. I think, like, if one team's going to go out and pay because they really need an edge rusher and they have a pretty good defense overall, it could be the Ravens, right? With Jesse Minter, another head coach. He might want to upgrade edge rusher. The Ravens pass rush last year was very bad as a team. So you could bring him in, but you're not just leaning on him on defense. You have a really good defense all over the place with good playmakers. The Colts, I would have loved. I just don't think they're going to be able to afford to bring him in now with this transition tag sitting with Daniel Jones. He would have had Latu to play on the other side, who's a really young, good edge rusher who's on a rookie contract. DeForest Buckner, who's aging, but he's still a good, above average interior defense line. It wouldn't have been just him on it. Patriots are an option. Maybe if the Lions really want to spend a ton on Aiden Hutchinson and Trey Hendrickson, that could be kind of sick.
I think they need to.
Yeah.
I think I said that a couple episodes ago. Like, the Lions have to figure out somebody opposite Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, they really, really do. See, Aiden Hutchinson too. Like, Yeah, it's just not enough to have one guy. So that's why I would rather a team. So there's a lot of guys out here in free agency. You have Adafe Owe, Jalen Phillips, Cam Jordan, who's much older, Joey Bosa, Bradley Chubb, Khalil Mack, who's also on the other side. But there's other guys you can bring in that are going to be half the cost of Hendrickson. You can bring up a few guys, draft a guy, whatever, and go that route instead of just paying so much for one guy. That's why I like any team trading multiple first-round picks and then signing and paying Max Crosby what he wants to get paid. Stupid. That's what I think.
Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome. Moving to corners. Reek Woolen, Marshawn Lattimore, Deshaun Wright, Jamal Dean, Josh Jobe, like Kobe Durant, Alante Taylor. It's an okay corner free agency class. Nobody like super elite out there. Tariq Woolen would be like the biggest name. He's also, still in that prime where he's 26 right now. Won't be 27 till May. He's had some big seasons with the Seahawks. I think teams will be bidding for him for sure.
Yeah, I think when it comes to these guys, I mean, how I feel about Lattimore when he came to the Commanders a couple years ago.
Yeah.
It felt like every big play, he was there watching it. So, I mean, obviously, I think when it comes to this one, I'm going Woolen. He's still in his prime, and I think with the right team, he could definitely make a really good impact and a push for them.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs just traded away Trent McDuffie to the Rams, and they have their other starting corner, Jalen Watson, as a free agent. So they're a team that desperately needs a corner. The Steelers desperately need a corner. The Jaguars have a couple unrestricted free agent corners, so they could use one. The Packers could really use a good corner out there too. Obviously, the Cowboys, they allowed the most passing yards per game last year. The Dolphins are terrible. Like, there's going to be a lot of landing spots for cornerbacks. Pretty much every team needs one.
Mm-hmm.
It's just which team, except for the Texans, yes. Which team do they feel Reek Woolen would fit their scheme? Mm-hmm. And I do think he's going to get paid. So do you want to pay him?
Yeah. I mean, I think you have to.
He's a good playmaker, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
It's just he can allow some big plays, but his body is so insanely long. It is really hard to get over him. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of teams are going to be excited about him and pay up. Maybe this is like, Reek Woolen is a guy that goes to a worse team because they're willing to pay him more. And he goes to take that contract. We brought up Marshawn Lattimore. You do not like him whatsoever. He was released by the Commanders, and you're happy about it.
Good riddance.
Bye. Moving on to linebackers, super deep inside linebacker free agency class. Devin Lloyd, your boy Bobby Wagner, Quay Walker, Levante David, Matt Milano, Caden Ellis, Alex Anzalone.
Easy for you to say.
Alex Anzalone, Eric Wilson, Devin Bush, Nakobe Dean, Leo Chanel. This is deep. And Devin Lloyd's going to be at the top of this class, getting paid the most. I'm just going to go cheaper because I don't like Devin Lloyd is good for sure. But he's going to get overpaid this year because he had 5 interceptions this past year. That's just not typical of an inside linebacker. And I'm not paying up for that. And I'm going with some of these lower end guys. But I like Nakobe Dean, Leo Chanel for sure.
I think if I'm the 49ers, I'm going to go and look at this group of folks and see who can play with Fred Warner, right? In my linebacker position. I think the Packers too are a really good team to grab somebody off of this list.
Yeah, I think the Giants are also a team that could be looking. They had the worst run defense grade as a unit among all linebacker units in the NFL last year, according to PFF, and they just cut Bobby Okereke, their starting linebacker. So they could be a team. The Cowboys, of course, they need everything. The Bengals, of course, need everything. The Broncos, they're losing 2 inside linebackers in free agency possibly, and Alex Singleton and Justin Strnad. So lots of teams out there could use some middle linebackers. And like I said, it's deep. So
and there's plenty out there.
Yeah, if I'm a team, I'm not dying to go pay up Devin Lloyd. I'm just looking in general for depth. And now safeties is super deep too. And I know we just brought up the 49ers. I'm not trying to be a homer here, but the 49ers need all of these safeties. Just bring them all in. I don't care. It's a great group. You got Jaquan Brisker, Kobe Bryant, Kevin Byard, Brian Cook, Jalen Hawkins, Cameron Curl, Alohi Gilman, who for whatever reason, I love him. I think he's so good. So Gilman is a guy I definitely want to land on one of the teams I really like, whether it be the 49ers or the Steelers or the Bills the Texans don't need a safety.
I know. But you could say anybody that I like.
Okay, the Commanders.
There you go.
Yeah, but I think
hard?
this class of free agency for safeties, they're out there, and the 49ers need them more than anything. The Bears, though, I just brought up two guys that were the starters for the Bears last year, and Kevin Byard and Jaquan Brisker. Like those are their starting safeties. They're both free agents. If they leave, they're going to be in desperate need.
Yeah, and I think honestly, here, if I'm the Rams, I'm running to these safeties and trying to get somebody locked down ASAP. The Rams safeties allowed the most opponent passing yards in 2025.
Yeah. And I do like Cameron Curl, and he was one of their safeties, but they do need to upgrade there. This could be a big priority. They did upgrade at corner with Trent McDuffie. We'll see how that works out for them. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting guys to look towards, and I love free agency so much. So that starts on Monday, the tampering period, which we all know. It's so funny because it's like you cannot talk to teams until 4 p.m. Eastern on Monday.
Yeah,
but then 4:02 Eastern, there's contracts that come through. And it's like you figure that out in 90 seconds. You figured out your 90-second contract. It's hilarious. They obviously are all already talking. But yeah, Monday, it all starts. Wednesday, it becomes official. And then we'll be talking about it next week where everyone lands.
How exciting for us.
You're so excited. You hate free agency with a passion.
It's for somebody that's a armchair that likes to have a lot of opinions on like how people play and what they do.
Yeah.
The whole like, where should they go? How much money should they get paid? Like, I think everyone deserves a livable wage, and
they're all getting it.
And they're all getting it. And so I have I'm like, you should all make $10 million. That's it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's because I'm a former social worker. So.
Okay. We do still have our 2-minute warning where we're going to talk about one free agency signing that would make us most excited next week to close out today's show.
2-minute warning.
You're almost through your suffering, Nycole. Almost done talking about it. But what is one free agency signing that you want to see most happen next week?
Yeah, and I feel like this is kind of a homer pick, but more or less. I would love to see Aaron Rodgers to the Browns. No, I'm just kidding.
Would you rather see Aaron Rodgers retire or to the Browns? What would be better?
Oh man, probably to the Browns, honestly.
Would
and I know
funny.
But it would be hard because I do try to watch a few of those games with my dad, so I couldn't watch any, or I wouldn't watch any, I should say. So I guess I'd just rather get him out of my face and retire.
Yeah.
But anyway, so my real pick is for the Commanders to go and grab a running back, and that running back is Rico Dowdle.
Rico Dowdle.
Yeah.
But what if they can go get Travis Etienne?
Obviously, that would be number one.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what the Texans are doing, but I like the David Montgomery pick. I don't think it was the best pick they could have made. I do like it. But yeah, I think where I'm at now with the Commanders, I'd love to see them go and grab a running back and then fix the defense.
All right. I like it. Mine is going to be if Kyler Murray does not sign with the Vikings, I want them to go get Kirk Cousins. I want the reunion. I want Justin Jefferson to be back for fantasy and alive and well. And I just think it'd be so interesting to see like what Kirk Cousins could do back with the Vikings. Give him one last hurrah.
Yeah, I think with Kevin O'Connell, it could be. I honestly I think it would be fun because I love Kirk Cousins. So yeah, I agree with you.
Well, they already thrived together, Kevin O'Connell and Kirk Cousins, and now Cousins is older and coming off a couple of years removed from the Achilles.
Sure.
But I want to see it again, but only if Kyler Murray doesn't end up there. I would love to see Murray with the Vikings.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm so in on that.
I don't know. I'm going to get you some purple and yellow, I guess.
Apparently what I need to see is Kyler Murray with the Vikings. And what did we just say should be Mike Evans with the Bills?
Yeah.
Those are the two things I actually really want to see the most, but I thought I'd throw in Kirk Cousins here. Yeah. Give him some love.
Yeah,
all right. That is it for today's episode. We'll have a lot more to get to next week. We'll talk to you then. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to The Analyst in the Armchair. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on socials, leave us a review, and comment to let us know what you'd like to hear next time.